Hey ladies and gents, it's Izduiz here, chilling by the pool. I'm going to do a quick review of Rey Mysterio of the WWE Universe figures that just came out at Walmart. People have asked me why I haven't been doing too many videos lately. The last ones I did were the Toys for College sales, and I want to report that those are doing really well. Sold over $500 worth of stuff, and if you're one of the people that purchased either the light or dark talisman from Four Horsemen Toy Designs Gothropolis, thank you. If you're the one that purchased the Mephisto figure with Throne, thank you. So those have been going well, but I've reviewed all of the Four Horsemen figures so far, all of the Mythic Legions figures, and since my channel is mostly Mythic Legions right now, I don't have any new figures for you to review, but I have been picking up some fun toys, and this is one of them. This is kind of like the Masters of the Universe Origins, the new line. It's the same sort of thing, except this is a mashup between Masters of the WWE. So it's Masters of the WWE Universe, and they live on WWE Eternia. Why is this a cool figure that I wanted to pick up? It's basically because of the history of Masters of the Universe and the fact that they have had absolutely no representation, no Mexican representation, no Latino representation to speak of for so long, and it just made me happy that this little guy Rey Mysterio is able to sneak his way into the universe. You know, he's a mashup with Stratos, so I guess he flew over the wall or whatever. The history of Masters of the Universe is funny because it's such a diverse line. They have all sorts of figures and all sorts of characters. You know, they have aliens and cyborgs and robots and cowboys and just a great mishmash, but no Latinos. The first actual Latino-like figure that was got into the line, I think, was kind of a bit of an accident. Val Staples was the one who was in charge of helping design the Plasmar figure. Plasmar was an exclusive for PowerCon, and when he put instructions as to how to color him, and he said that Plasmar should be green, should have green, white, and red in honor of the Mexican flag. So that's kind of like the first Latino or the first Mexican figure. And they've had hundreds and hundreds of Masters of the Universe figures. They've had Asian representation, black representation, you know, whatever He-Man is. I don't know what a blonde guy with sort of high cheekbones and Asian features and a deep dark tan is, but he's not Latino. So Plasmar, that figure that was kind of a mishmash of a bunch of parts that was put together, and then because of the colors, I'm claiming him as the first Masters of the Universe Mexican figure, which would make Rey Mysterio here the second, okay? Because Rey Mysterio's Mexican-American origin. And when I started collecting action figures, I only collected figures that I started collecting all the Chinese figures and all the Mexican figures because my kids are half Chinese, so I wanted to have them to have like toys that kind of look like them. And for a long time there were no Mexican action figures, but the way they started developing them was through the wrestling, you know, WWE superstars and guys like Rey Mysterio and all that. So even though I'm not a huge wrestling guy, I buy all the figures, and it's nice to see some Latino representation. I know when I was a kid, I liked having toys and comics and stories and stuff that sort of reflected my cultural background and who I am. So it's a cool card back here with the exploding purple rocks, all very reminiscent of Masters of the Universe. Let me take him part two. More first world problems. My phone overheated and stopped recording because it's so warm out here in the beautiful California sunshine. So here is Rey Mysterio that I picked up from Walmart. I think he's a Walmart exclusive. But I really like these Origins figures. They're a lot of fun. As you can see, it's got all these bright colors. We got very nice paint apps for the most part. They come apart, so you can take the legs off, you can take the arms off, and all that. There you can see Stratos' backpack and jetpack, so he can fly, and you can take that off and mix and match with other figures. You can take off the hands as well, and these are the feathers that you put on there. And so he's Stratos and he's Rey Mysterio, and he's really cool, and he's undeniably Mexican. I mean, I wish he had that tattoo on his chest that said, or on his stomach that said Mexican, but he's kid friendly here, and he's devoid of tattoos. But finally, we have a undeniably Mexican Masters of the Universe figure, and I think it only took a couple of hundred, maybe 400 figures before we got our first one, and then we finally got our second one. So head pops off, arms pop off, all of that. I'm not going to take him through his paces for you, but there are other figures. There's this John Cena, which I also picked up because I'm a sucker for clear blue. He didn't come with this weapon or this axe, but I immediately gave him those, and I immediately took off his chest armor so that you could see right through him there. So pretty cool. I love that. Oh, I guess he just won the battle with Rey Mysterio. Everything's hot, and on the plastic is getting soft out here. So I was going through the history of Rey Mysterio. I don't know how many people will be, not Rey Mysterio, of Mexicans that worked on the line for Masters of the Universe. It started out with Tony Guerrero, who's a Mexican who sculpted the original He-Man. So he's the one that gave him that squat position, those big huge muscles. And so I had to take this look at Rey Mysterio, and my video about the history of Masters of the Universe and Latino representation inside, because the phone keeps overheating, and it says it shut down the app that I was using to videotape because the phone was too hot. So anyway, I was talking about Tony Guerrero, the guy who sculpted the original He-Man and gave us, that heavily muscled, crouched figure that just basically took over the toy world. And these Origins figures are more articulated, but they really harken back to those original heavily muscled figures. So I think they fit right in with classics, but of course the articulation is a huge improvement, and the plug and play where you can pull parts of them off is important. So yeah, so we had Tony Guerrero sculpting the original one. You also had a guy by the name of Martin Ariola, who's Mexican American, who worked at Masters of the Universe at Mattel on Masters of the Universe for a long time, and he I guess it was probably just an oversight, never ended up getting any sort of Latino representation into the line the time that he worked there, and that was for many years. He's a long time employee there. So now I believe that Mattel, even though Classics isn't going right now, the brand manager is Ruben Martinez, or he has been for a while. So I'm hoping that he can get some Latino representation into the line. I'd at least like to see Plasmar, since he's got a figure in Classics, get a figure in Origins, so we can have one Mexican or one homage Latino figure. We can have that in the line. So as you can see, Rey's head pops off, everything pops off, and then you can mix and match him with other figures in the line. Let's see, Mark Taylor, he also worked and played a huge part in the history of Masters of the Universe, and his wife is Mexican American. She worked on Castle Grayskull. I know she's very proud of her heritage. I think she designed the flag and for Castle Grayskull, and maybe the Castle Great or something, and designed and drew that. Folks, let's get some more Latino representation into Masters. It's not too late to do that. So let's show you how some of the playability there. John Cena is a faker ice face on that torso. So yeah, a little bit of history of Masters. A little look at how these figures look next to. Here's a Funko figure that I sort of customized or kit bashed a little bit. Turned this into Fire Shark Lizard, but I thought Funko did a pretty good job with these. But and they're very, very styled like the vintage Masters figures. But these Origins are even better and more fun because you can mix and match. So the playability is also there, as well as, you know, the nostalgia that hits you right in the feels. And like I said, even though this is WWE Masters, I'm very glad to have Rey Mysterio representing. Let's see. There he is, riding on a Funko Joker Beast. And it's a Mattel Origins faker with a different parts from different figures, and the saddle is from a vintage Masters of the Universe Battle Cat. So, all right, fits and starts, but we finally got through this review and this history of Mexican and Latino representation at Mattel. Is signing out.